What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the School of Chops YouTube channel. I have been a full-time musician for over 5 years now, and I played over 100 gigs last year alone. One thing that I have realized that has been a tool to enhance the quality of my performances is my ability to play some awesome drum solos. The audience loves it, my bandmates love it. It's a great tool to have. But the problem is, people don't know how to do drum solos and chops in the most efficient way on the gig. So in this video, I'm going to reveal to you what I like to call the best method, which is amazing for playing drum solos on gigs. I use this method to crush my solos every weekend, and it is so easy that you are going to be able to implement these steps on your very next gig. What is the best method? I'm glad you asked. B-E-S-T. The B stands for breathe. The E stands for establish an idea. The S stands for shape the idea that you just established. And the T stands for take off. This 4-step process is the key to mastering solos. And actually, once you kind of figure it out and you look at other people's solo, you're gonna realize that they're implementing all these things. For those of you who are new here, my name is Zyck and I'm a professional full-time musician. I get paid to travel all over playing weddings, festivals, concerts, clubs, you name it, I've done it. Oh, and by the way, if you literally want me to help you make sure that your drum skills and creativity are excelling as fast as humanly possible, then you can click the link below in the bio to sign up. Now, let's get into this video. All right, y'all, before we jump into this video, I have to give a quick disclaimer. There are a lot of lies and misconceptions surrounding drum solos and chops on gigs. You're going to get a lot of older people telling you, you don't need to be playing that flashy stuff. You don't need to be practicing chops and drum fills. You need to focus on that groove. Groove is what's important. And there is a little bit of truth to that. Groove is important. But in this day and age, chops have become very, very important, and we cannot rob ourselves of the opportunity to play as many gigs as possible by not practicing chops and only practicing groove. So if you are one of those people that are saying groove only, you need to only be playing groove, and you're stuck in 30 years ago, I need you to click off the video. If you are a person that is ready to get better and ready to increase themselves as a player overall and not abandon chops and actually finally figure it out, then this is the video for you. Always remember, y'all, it's better to have it and not need it than it is to need it and not have it. Let's get it. First, let's talk about what people get wrong about drum solos. Number one, they think that if they can play fast and loud, then they're a great soloist. That is just not true. Just because you can play fast and loud does not mean you're a great soloist. Let's be honest, I can invite my 6-year-old cousin in here to come play my kid who knows nothing about drums, and he can play fast and loud. I know you see a lot of chops online. I know you see a lot of drum solos where people are ripping as fast as they can and playing as loud as they can online, and it seems really cool, but you have to understand that there's always context when you're on a gig. If I'm playing a gig inside of a restaurant and a lady is eating a sandwich 10 feet away from me, when I play my drum solo, playing as loud as I can is probably not appropriate. So we have to understand the context. Anybody can play fast and loud. It is a true musician that can look at their environment and find out what the environment is going to require. If you're playing a festival and you're on a huge stage, yes, you should be playing loud. If you're playing a certain type of genre that is requiring you to play a little bit faster chops, then yes, you should play those faster chops. But remember, just because you can play fast and loud does not mean you're gonna make a good solo. I have even made this mistake in the past, and it is something that you have to make sure you remember. Playing fast and loud does not mean you're a good soloist. Actually, 9 times out of 10, when you're playing fast and loud, it probably means you're a bad soloist. So remember, just because you can play fast and loud does not mean that you're killing the solo, and you need to pay attention to your surroundings and understand what is going on. The second thing people get wrong about chops is they think that if they can play sick chops, it means that they can play a great solo. That is also not true. Just because you can play sick chops does not mean, I repeat, it does not mean that you are a great soloist. In fact, the method that I'm getting ready to show you today, you don't necessarily need to have crazy, amazing chops. When it comes to soloing, it's not all about the chops. A lot of the times, it's about telling a story to your audience. And I'll be completely honest with you, the audience is gonna resonate with you actually telling a story better than they will your favorite chop. Now, how to incorporate and implement your favorite chops into the story is where the true skill comes. But just because you can play an awesome chop, just because you can do an awesome sweep, your left hand over your right, that does not mean you're a great soloist. There's so much more to soloing than flashy chops. Now, I'm gonna give y'all some information on when the flashy stuff comes in handy, but when it comes to building a solo, you're going to grasp the audience better when you're telling them a story, opening them up and reeling them in. I want y'all to think of this like a roller coaster. When you get on a roller coaster, the incline in the beginning is the part where everybody is getting the jitters like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. We're getting ready to hit that drop, right? And it takes a while for you to get there. If you just come out the gate with your sickest chop, there has been no incline. There has been no story. You haven't taken me anywhere. And a lot of the time it confuses the audience, and it definitely confuses your bandmates. So don't think that just because you got some sick flashy chops that you're gonna be an amazing soloist, because I know so many people who have crazy chops behind the back, crazy sweeps, but when it comes to playing a solo, that stuff is not as useful because they don't know where to place it, which is number 3. The third thing that people get wrong about drum solos is their placement. There's 2 categories when it comes to placement. The first one is what I was just talking about, actually knowing where to place your chops, knowing where to place your drum fills, and knowing where to place certain things in your drum solos. A lot of people don't understand this, and they get to a point where they're confusing the audience and confusing their bandmates. You want to work on your placement and where to place certain things, and where certain things fit and where they go and where they don't. The second type of placement that I'm talking about is the placement of when you're hitting the hits. A lot of the times as drummers, when we're soloing, there's hits playing in the background. The band is playing hits. Do not box yourself into playing the hits every single time. If you were a trumpet player and you were soloing in the key of F, would you only play the F major scale? No, you would put in different notes, maybe play the blues scale, maybe play the pentatonic. You would play different things, but you wouldn't play the generic just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the scale. You would not do that. So don't do it as a drummer. Work on your placement of your chops, okay? Maybe you can catch that hit, but you don't have to play every single hit. Express yourself on the drums. Hold your bandmates accountable to stay in time, right? They gotta stay in time, but that doesn't mean that you have to hit every single hit. A lot of y'all have a misconception that, oh, I have to hit every single hit, which is getting in the way of your thought process of actually playing what you feel and expressing yourself. You're struggling to hit these hits and you're struggling to play these hits instead of actually thinking about what you want to say or thinking about the story that you want to tell. Placement is very important because you gotta know where you wanna place your chops, but you also have to know, how am I gonna place these chops around the hits to the point where I'm not sacrificing my ability because I wanna hit every single hit. I don't want you guys to miss all the hits because that's wrong as well, but you wanna make sure that you know where you are in the form, but you're going around the hits in a fashion to where people kind of can look and say, wow, this guy knows what he's doing. So those are the 3 things that I notice a lot of people get wrong about solos. Now, let's get into how to solve those things by using the best method that I told you about at the beginning of the video. This method is a storytelling method that I created to help drummers understand how to perform under pressure when things get scary. Whenever you're playing a drum solo, your heart rate is up, people are filming you, your mom's in the corner like, oh, that's my baby. You know, it gets really, really crazy. It gets really nerve-wracking, and your nerves can get you to a point where you're making mistakes on the drums and you're like, yo, I just trashed the solo. I did a horrible job. So I created the best method as a protocol for you to fall back on. Think of it like the stop, drop, and roll method. Everybody knows that if you catch on fire, you are supposed to stop, drop, and roll. A lot of things may be going through your head. Oh my God, I'm on fire. This is burning. This is terrible. I'm in so much pain. But you know that you need to stop, drop, and roll. Whenever the lights are shining down on you, whenever all of your bandmates are turning around looking at you, whenever everybody in the audience is doing this and trying to film you and look at you play, this is a protocol that you can fall back on. So let's start with number 1. The B, breathe. This is a step that is very, very, very important because this is how you're going to calm yourself, and this is how you're going to calm those nerves that we just talked about. When it comes to playing drum solos, you have to breathe. And I know y'all might be thinking like, well, duh, Zeke, of course. Believe it or not, I've seen so many of my students and so many other drummers that they're so nervous during a drum solo that they're not breathing. They're playing the solo and they're not breathing. And it's like, it seems like a very obvious thing, but unfortunately it's not very obvious to people. So this is what I tell people. The B stands for breathe. You want to calm yourself. As a drummer, Tension is your #1 enemy. If you're squeezing the stick, you're not gonna sound good. I'm sorry, it's never gonna work. But if you breathe, you're gonna release that tension, you're gonna release the pressure, you're gonna release the stage fright, and you're gonna just say, okay, I got this. And you're gonna control your breathing throughout the entire solo. It might sound like a crazy obvious thing, y'all, but people aren't doing it, and I can guarantee you're probably not breathing before your solos either. So the B in the best method stands for breathe. I want you to calm yourself, I want you to breathe, and I want you to say, I got this. Next, let's go on to the E. This stands for establish. After we're breathing and we're calming ourselves, we have to establish an idea. Don't just come out the gate guessing what you're gonna do and hoping that you land something cool. Let's establish an idea. Maybe it's a groove like da 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 da, boom ba doom, boom ba boom ba boom, ga 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 ga, doom da doom ga 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 ga, goom goom ga goom goom, ga 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 ga. Right? I keep going back to the ga 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 scheme. Blah. We need to actually make sure that we're establishing an idea so we know where we can grow from. If you don't have a foundation set in your solo, you don't know where you're going to go. This is your launch pad. This is the beginning. And guess what? 9 times out of 10, it needs to be simple. It doesn't need to be something crazy. Remember I said, just because you got a flashy chop don't mean that that's gonna be what makes you a great soloist. What is gonna make you a great soloist is the fact that you can establish an idea and take your time and actually say, okay, this is the direction that I wanna go in. And when I say establish an idea, I want you to actually repeat it. If you're not repeating your ideas when you're playing a drum solo, it's like a bunch of run-on sentences. You're not actually saying anything. So if you hear something that you like, when you're at the beginning of that solo and you're getting in your groove and you're feeling yourself, it's like, okay, I like what I just heard. Listen to yourself. Use your ears, listen to yourself. I like what I just heard. I'm going to recreate that and do it again. This is what establishing an idea is, and it is gonna take your drum soloing from here to here. It's gonna level it up because it's giving you an opportunity to hear what you're playing, and it's giving the audience an opportunity to hear and understand what you're playing. And that's that part of the roller coaster. The establish is the part of the roller coaster we were talking about, where it's like, oh my goodness, we're going up. This is crazy. What is gonna happen? The audience and your bandmates are gonna be doing the same thing. Establish an idea. Now, let's go to the S. The S stands for shape the idea that you just established. Meaning we just established an idea, but we don't wanna do the same thing 12 times in a row. Now we're getting repetitive and it gets boring. After we've established that idea and we presented it to our audience a few times, let's shape it into something else. When it comes to shaping, you don't want to add too much at once. Pull back a little bit, okay? If we're just playing paradiddles, maybe throw a kick in between one of them. And we're gonna continue shaping it into what we like. Guess what? The first thing you do with the shaping, you might not like it, but that's okay. Keep flowing and keep trying to shape it into something else. Think of the shaping part as like driving down the road. If you were just driving down the road, none of the stores on the road look the same. None of the businesses look the same. They all have different personality and they all have different colors. They all sell different things. So when you're driving down this road of your solo, the shaping part, you've established the idea, but the shaping part is the different things that you see as you're driving down the road. Right, so we want to shape the idea and we want to give the audience different things to hear, different things to look at. Now, these things can be simple. It doesn't have to be a crazy, crazy, crazy idea. It needs to be the established, but a level up. And this is a quick hack. Your shaping can even be dynamics. You can go da ga da ga da dum dum da da ga da ga da dum dum da dum da dum da dum ga 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 dum da dum ga 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 dum da dum dum da dum ga 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 dum dum da dum ga 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 ga. Like, it doesn't have to be just rhythms. The shaping can be dynamics as well, right? And this is also a part of that roller coaster as well. The roller coaster has peaks and valleys. It's taking you up and down. The shaping can be rudiments. The shaping can be dynamics. The shaping can be whatever you want it to be, but something needs to be altered and changed about the idea that you established. And I promise, your brain is naturally going to feed you into different things and show you different things. Your body is gonna naturally try different stuff and move around, and you need to be listening to yourself. Again, that's very important. Again, I'm using that word again. Listening to yourself to get yourself to the point where you can say, wow, I'm soloing. Now we have the T, which is the takeoff. The takeoff is the moment in the solo where you can finally play fast and loud if you want to. This is the moment that we've been leading everybody up to. The moment that everybody is like, yo, what is gonna come next? This is the big thing that is gonna come next. Always remember, people remember how you start and how you finish. So if you start by breathing and establishing a good idea and you finish with the big chop, your favorite chop, the one sweep that you've been trying to do the whole night, Everybody is going to remember this and everybody is going to deem you a great soloist. I don't want you guys to think that you can only take off with a crazy chop or you can only take off with a really, really fast chop. Your takeoff could be crowd participation. I've seen videos of people whenever they're soloing, they make the crowd clap. Okay, I know y'all seen the videos of Nate Smith making the crowd clap along. That's auxiliary and people love that. I know y'all seen the videos online of people making the crowd do call and response with what they're playing. That could be your takeoff. But your takeoff doesn't necessarily have to be that crazy under the arm chop. It just needs to be a big bang, a part to close the solo, to give them something to remember when you close it out. If you do the establishing and the shaping well enough, the takeoff is gonna happen naturally and it's gonna happen easily. I don't want the takeoff to be scary. It's not supposed to be a scary thing. The takeoff is supposed to be the fun part of the solo where you're just doing your last thing, it's your final trick to get the people going. You usually don't want to get to the takeoff until the very end. This is the very end of the solo. But you want to make sure that you're establishing and you're shaping throughout the entire solo. Establishing ideas, shaping ideas. Establishing ideas, shaping ideas. That is how it works. So let's do a quick recap. The B stands for breathe, right? You remember that. Calm yourself, relax yourself, and breathe. The E stands for establish an idea. You want to pick an idea to establish. As you go through the solo and you start hearing yourself, listen for something that you can repeat and say to the audience. Because you have taken the deep breaths, your mind is not wandering all over the place. It is ready to establish an idea, it is listening, and it is ready to give the audience that beginning part of the solo to grasp their attention. The S is the shape. Now that we've established that idea, let's explore and shape where we feel it can go and what it can do. This is very, very important because this is gonna take us from here to here, from here to here. It's gonna expand the solo and it's gonna pull the audience in even closer. Now, lastly again is the takeoff, the T, where you've got them invested, they're waiting for the big moment. Do not disappoint your audience. If you have done steps 1 through 3 properly, then 4 is gonna be the home run. The bases are loaded. Hit that home run and take everybody home. The takeoff is gonna be different for different drummers. For some drummers like myself, it's probably gonna be a fast chop. It's probably gonna be something a little bit louder. It's probably gonna be something a little bit flashier, but that does not mean that you can't take off. You have to dig within yourself and find out what your style is and how you're going to wrap up your solos. And guess what? When y'all are getting started, your takeoff might be the same thing for a while. But as you develop and as you get better, you would have different takeoffs to choose from and to pick from. But your takeoff may be the same for a while, and that's completely okay. Don't worry. All right, y'all, that is gonna conclude the video for the day. Please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any more tutorials on the School of Chops YouTube channel. My name is Zeke. If you want my personal help on building your creativity, your flow, your chops, your drum fills, anything drums, hit the link in the bio to apply to work with me one-on-one. I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna expedite that process and I'm gonna help you take better solos and be a more confident drummer overall. Hit the subscribe button, share this with somebody. I'll see you guys next time. Peace and love, Zeke out.